Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to The Bachelor latest news. The Bachelor Season 29's lead, Grant Ellis, is a sweet guy. But I've changed my mind about his behavior, as his people-pleasing tendencies have proven he can't make decisions, making the show boring. Grant, who began his Bachelor journey on The Bachelorette Season 21 with Jen Tran, has been a concerning lead. While Grant's start in the franchise painted him out to be a stable partner for Jen, it became clear that things weren't as they seemed when his time as The Bachelor commenced. Grant's time as the leading man has been different than other bachelors of the past. Throughout his time leading The Bachelor Season 29, Grant has been a frustrating figure to watch. While I've enjoyed that he's a kind-hearted man who clearly wants to find someone special, it's so clear to me that Grant has a lot of unresolved issues stemming from his past that he shouldn't be carrying into a new relationship. Grant's behavior hasn't been villainous, but another form of frustrating. Rather than being able to verbalize what he wants in a partner and move forward with women who suit him, Grant's people-pleasing tendencies have left him stringing women along and boring viewers. Although Grant's time on The Bachelorette didn't last the entirety of the season, it was long enough to ensure that viewers learned a lot more about him as a person than other contestants. Sharing that he was 30 years old, Grant revealed during his time as a contestant that he'd been a professional basketball player for a time, but was currently working as a day trader. Originally from New Jersey, Grant had a difficult upbringing that pushed him into some darker places. Grant opened up about his relationship with his father, which had been difficult from early on in his life. Changing throughout the years, Grant's father dealt with an addiction that impacted his entire family, especially his young son. While things have turned around for Grant's dad in recent years, allowing him to get to know his son better, Grant's dealt with the issues that have stemmed from his father's addiction and the consequences that have come from it over the years. Although Grant's had a tough time moving ahead with ease, he's managed to do a lot to ensure that he has a stable, happy future. While he's been doing his best to work through his issues and build a new connection to his family, Grant's relationship with his father has likely pushed him to have some people-pleasing tendencies, which we're seeing frequently on The Bachelor. Grant's people-pleasing has kept him struggling with the women of The Bachelor, as hurting their feelings isn't in his nature. Instead, Grant tries to ensure that even when letting them down, they're happy. Although Grant's behavior is typical for his situation, his people-pleasing hasn't been easy to watch on The Bachelor. While Grant knows how he feels, he's deferring to the behaviors that he thinks will cause the least pain for others. Keeping the women of his cast happy may be a kindness, but Grant's behavior is unfailingly boring. He's not being direct with the women he's not interested in, which is not only stringing them along, but is keeping Grant from sharing his real emotions. The Bachelor is meant to be decisive, but Grant's just been boring while placating his cast. The Bachelor Season 29 contestant Carolina Sofia has been keeping busy since leading man Grant Ellis sent her home on the reality dating series. Carolina, a 28-year-old public relations producer from Guaynabo, Puerto Rico, had an instant connection with Grant, a now 31-year-old day trader from Newark, New Jersey on premiere night. However, Carolina was quickly painted as the villain of the show when she and Grant kissed in front of the other women on a group date. Carolina had many other conflicts with the other women, which often ended up with Grant giving her a lot of time to talk about it. Throughout The Bachelor Season 29, Carolina dominated a lot of Grant's time. Because of this, Zoe McGrady said that it was the Carolina show. Carolina also famously sang, "I Guess I'm Crazy and Evil," during an argument with Dina Lupancu. During the Women Tell All episode, Carolina wore a jacket with the words, "Crazy and Evil" printed on the back, and "What's your question?" On the front, which was a reference to what she said to Juliana Pasquarosa during an argument. The women attacked her so harshly during the Women Tell All episode that she had to take a break and leave the stage. Here's what Carolina has been up to after The Bachelor Season 29. During The Bachelor Season 29, Dinah was one of the only women who defended Carolina. However, the following week, Dinah was upset when Carolina spent almost a whole group date alone with Grant in Scotland. Dinah felt betrayed by Carolina, and they had an argument. However, Carolina apologized to Dinah before the rose ceremony, and they seemed to end things off on a positive note. However, as The Bachelor Season 29 was airing in February 2025, Dinah posted a TikTok video previewing episode 5, in which she wrote that she defended the one person who nobody else would, Carolina, just to get played the next week. Carolina responded to Dinah's video, saying that she had screenshots of their conversation as evidence. Dinah then replied to Carolina's video, writing that she teased the following week's preview, and Carolina had responded with a threat. She wrote that it was an interesting tactic, but on brand, I guess. During the Women Tell All episode, the women talked about their TikTok feud, and Dinah once again claimed that she was simply previewing the following week's episode. However, Carolina felt that she shouldn't have done that because it seemed as though she was targeting her. There really wasn't a resolution to this argument, but the women didn't address the topic again on TikTok. In a March 2025 Instagram story, Carolina reflected on her Bachelor Season 29 experience. She posted a video of herself holding hands with Grant as she met him on premiere night, but she put a heart sticker over his face that said, "All my virtual besties," that implied that she was happy to meet them. In her Instagram story, Carolina shared that her mental health suffered after The Bachelor Season 29. She wrote, "6 months ago, a really happy girl walked into the Bachelor mansion expecting the most amazing experience of her life. I figured if I didn't find romantic love, I'd at least find lifelong friendships. I could have never imagined it would become my biggest nightmare. Since then, my mental health has plummeted to an all-time low. Living it was the worst experience of my life, and having to sit with it months in anticipation for what I would see on TV was excruciating." Carolina went on to say that she initially blamed herself for what had happened, but when she was able to watch the show back, she felt that it wasn't the case. She shared, "I fully convinced myself that I must have been completely aloof to my actions to warrant such hate, and I was bracing myself to be hit with reality when I watched it back. To be completely honest, even with the narrative that was shown, I simply cannot understand the piling on anyone when they're already down." Carolina then admitted that she lost herself in her Bachelor Season 29 journey. She wrote, "I completely lost all sense of self in this experience, and I allowed the light personality that first stepped into the house to be dimmed, just trying to be less disruptive. I never wanted to be the crazy and evil one. I didn't want to be involved in any of the arguments brought against me, and I tried to shut them down without going as low as someone coming at me. It's hard to stay positive in an environment where everyone's decided to view you negatively. I'm only human, but I'm trying to heal and do better." Carolina then thanked the people who've supported her throughout the past few months. She said, "I sincerely want to thank every single person that sent me an encouraging message. Many of you have started by saying, 'I know you probably won't read this,' and just know I am reading them, and you taking a minute out of your day to show someone kindness means a lot. If you're new here, I hope you'll stick around to see the most authentic version of myself in safer environments. I'm so glad you're here." Carolina didn't specify where her fans will see her next, but based on what she wrote, it's unlikely that she'll appear on Bachelor in Paradise Season 10. She didn't seem to enjoy her Bachelor experience because of the arguments with the other women. So she probably won't want to subject herself to that kind of environment again. Carolina wasn't the villain that the other women made her out to be, and she didn't deserve to be attacked. Hopefully, Carolina will appear on screens again soon in an environment that supports her and allows her to be her authentic self and shine. Grant Ellis is narrowing down his list of potential partners as he hands out roses on The Bachelor Season 29. Grant was crowned the lead of The Bachelor after Jen Tran sent him packing on Season 21 of The Bachelorette in summer 2024. Ahead of his season premiere in January 2025, a trailer showed host Jesse Palmer encouraging the lead to make a decision about who he thinks is the one. Something that Grant exclusively told Us Weekly he doesn't typically struggle with. "In my life, I'm a really decisive person, but when it comes to matters of the heart and when it comes to letting people down, I struggle with that sometimes," Grant told us ahead of the first episode. "So even from night one, I didn't want to send people home, but it's something I had to do. And then when you couple that with the amazing women that are on the season, it becomes really hard. And then you add the absence and the lack of time that you have. It's definitely difficult." Grant has remained tight-lipped about the ending of his season, but teased to us that he's always happy. He added, "I'm happy with life and I'm happy with the way that things are going and the way that things played out." The Bachelor airs on Mondays on ABC at 8 p.m. ET. Scroll down to see who's still standing on Season 29 of The Bachelor. Grant Ellis is narrowing down his list of potential partners as he hands out roses on The Bachelor Season 29. Grant was crowned the lead of The Bachelor after Jen Tran sent him packing on Season 21 of The Bachelorette in summer 2024. Ahead of his season premiere in January 2025, a trailer showed host Jesse Palmer encouraging the lead to make a decision about who he thinks is the one. Something that Grant exclusively told Us Weekly he doesn't typically struggle with. "In my life, I'm a really decisive person, but when it comes to matters of the heart and when it comes to letting people down, I struggle with that sometimes," Grant told us ahead of the first episode. "So even from night one, I didn't want to send people home, but it's something I had to do. And then when you couple that with the amazing women that are on the season, it becomes really hard. And then you add the absence and the lack of time that you have. It's definitely difficult." Grant has remained tight-lipped about the ending of his season, but teased to us that he's always happy. He added, "I'm happy with life and I'm happy with the way that things are going and the way that things played out." The Bachelor airs on Mondays on ABC at 8 p.m. ET. Scroll down to see who's still standing on Season 29 of The Bachelor. Tyler Cameron's hometown date on The Bachelorette Season 15 wasn't actually filmed in his own house. "My mom busted her and I learned she painted the house. She had my aunts, uncles, and everyone over there working their tails off to get this house looking good," Cameron, 32, recalled in a Tuesday, March 11, TikTok video. "It was really beat up, and as she did all that work, the Bachelorette producers told us, it's too small. It's not going to work." According to Cameron, his family hosted lead Hannah Brown from my cousin's house. "We hosted the dinner and hang out there," Cameron recalled. "I was very upset about this. I was like, I grew up in this house. I've lived there since I was a baby. It's the first house I lived in. This means a lot to me. Didn't matter." Cameron appeared on Brown's season of The Bachelorette in 2019, eventually introducing her to his loved ones during a Florida hometown date. In addition to meeting his whole family at a cousin's residence, the contractor took Brown, now 30, on a boat excursion. "To make matters worse, the boat that I went on wasn't even my boat. And why? Because they said my boat was too small, he further claimed. I told Hannah. I was like, this isn't my boat. This isn't my house. I'm not trying to front. According to Cameron, he was pissed off that he couldn't film in his real properties. The Bachelor franchise has not publicly addressed Cameron's claims, though many other show alums have also alleged they filmed hometowns in different houses for similar reasons. Tyler Cameron says, with all due respect, he has no plans to go to ex-Hannah Brown's wedding. But it is what it is. I can't do anything about it, Cameron concluded. Lesson of the story. It's not about the size of the boat. It's about the size of the motion in the ocean. That's all. He added, it pisses me off when they do that, like, let's be real. I'll show you my little house that I grew up in since I was a baby, show you the holes in the wall. I don't care. Cameron was the runner-up on Brown's season, and they've since remained friendly as they each romantically moved on with Tate Madden and Adam Woolard, respectively. He even reunited with Brown for a 2024 episode of his Going Home renovation docuseries. Then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.